How about love, love?
Hey,
Are you on me?
Hey.
So bacon memes. Don't put on me yet. Bacon memes wants to see what everybody's saying. What color my shirt is.
The bet would be on black. Always bet on black, and they are betting black. And oops, they're wrong. I'm just.
All right, go ahead. Put on me, Xavier.
Boom.
Totally different today, kids.
Total dad bod. It's got the New Balance. No, remember the New Balance shoes we were talking about? He just installed them now.
What are you talking about? These aren't New Balance. Well, is this a dad outfit?
It's pretty dad
outfit.
outfit.
It's not a dad outfit.
That's pretty dad. That's pretty
tucked
dad
in T-shirt.
Outfit.
I mean,
I had to do a tucked in T-shirt. Damn.
We welcome everybody in. Paul, everyone's excited about Walgreens.
You threw that in the air? I thought you were throwing something at me. I only like that.
Walgreens, should we talk about it?
Yeah, I would like to talk about it.
Okay, Mo, take it away. Anyway, if this is your first, hold on a second. I got to host a damn show. If this is your first,
that looks fresh.
If this is your first community exclusive live stream, say hello in the chitty chat there, and make sure you let us know where you're at. I see some people from the motherland, Deutschland. Guten Abend to you and meine Freundin. And if this is your first time, let us know. Paul Shorts check. We're chat. Well, look at all the wonderful everyone. Feed in, Mr. P. Love you. Israel Thomas here. I love it, guys. Mo, I introduced Mo and Paul. Before I get to that, before we get into Walgreens.
Sure.
We recorded video. Sorry, do you hear something?
Yeah, it's Mike.
Sorry, guys. I thought I heard some feedback. We did a video about Lucid. You guys asked for it. You asked for it. You got it, Paul. Lucid.
What's that from?
Forget Paris.
I know a guy, like Shaq's assistant, who I'm like, he was in that movie.
Shaq's assistant was in the movie?
Yeah, Tony, the guy who I talk to all the time about whenever something's needed.
Oh, well, you asked for it. You got it.
You asked for it. You got it.
We talked about Ford today. HPQ, folks. HPQ, an 8-pillar company, incredibly below its market cap. The market cap that we came up with, unbelievable. We did a video about starting a business, how to get cooking. Paul's thoughts on where to go, how to get cooking if you're starting a business, or if you're any stage of your business, Paul, how to get shit done and keep going. We talked about what's defining a multi-bagger stock. Very eye-opening for me about the presence of getting in stocks and getting in
I'm
long-term.
surprised how that was so eye-opening for you. I thought it was going to be...
Well, I mean, you surprised me, Paul. I mean, this outfit, your topics at hand, it's great. And then Paul and Mo, tell the viewers that daily content that we've been promising for a long time is happening. And boys, tell them what you're up to. I will be joining the train very soon. But boys, tell them what you've been doing for exclusively for the community with your 5 minutes.
Well, I've challenged Seth and Mo to record every single day the few good minutes. I've recorded every single day. Mo's done a lot. Seth will get on it once he realizes it. So Seth's the guy who's going to say, we need more content. All right, Seth makes some videos, and he doesn't. So
yeah.
I've recorded a bunch. I mean, I like doing the ones where you guys ask me about like trading and stuff. I'll do those, but I prefer doing the ones that don't have anything to do with trading and they have to do with mindset, or you want to know something. That's to me what I'm most excited about. Like when you guys say do this about trading, I'm just like, meh. Okay.
Well, you have the whole Bitness Nation for that.
That's what right? That's how I see it. I see it as the 5 good minutes should not be that part, and we should just
a few good
keep
minutes.
a few good minutes. I'm the one that came up with the name. I forgot the name. Anyways, Walgreens.
So many new names in here, guys. Sweatpant Riot, Relaxing Fox, George from Sweden, Andrew from Pittsburgh, Tom's first time. Guys, it's great to see all the new names. Paul, before we get into that, Paul, you saw Captain Kirk go into space
90
yesterday,
years old.
And I know you're fired up. I mean,
I want to go to space so bad.
How much, I mean, what is it, how much are you willing to pay? If you could go to space, say Bezos says next week, what's your number?
I knew for sure I'm coming back 100% alive.
Do you have like $10 million ready?
No, I wouldn't do 10 million. I wouldn't do 10 million.
How much would you do?
I think the flight's like 450.
450,000, that's it?
Yeah, and even then I probably wouldn't do, I don't know if I'd do that.
Now, when they say go to space, you just like fly up and
that's the thing. It's not like you're in space for a long time. It's
like you at least want to spend a day.
Shatner said that apparently he just felt he saw this blue and it just burst into blackness, and he was like crying in tears, saying he's basically in space.
He said everybody has to do what he's. Listen, 450 for I mean, I want to go to space, but I know the price is going to plummet in the next. I'm in no rush. Next 10 or 20 years, it's going to plummet. But I've been saying I want to go to space for a very long time. I almost went to space camp when I was a kid. Almost went to space camp.
All the way down in Florida?
Yeah, but then my dad, the last second, was like, you're not going.
Space camp.
What's wrong with space camp?
I think I wanted to go to space camp too. So, Mo, talk about Walgreens.
So they beat earnings, and everything's looking really good for Walgreens. But when I see reactions like up 8, 10%, whatever they are today, those kind of things to me, it's just like everybody's getting excited and they need to get in soon before it goes to $80 a share or whatever. And I'm like, think about, like, I always put it this
He's
way.
speechless over there, folks.
When,
Keep going, Mo.
when a company goes up 9% in a day, you're literally saying that the company is 9% more valuable in that day, 10% more valuable, 60% more valuable, whatever it is that day. I find it hard to believe that one thing can change in a quarter where a company becomes 10% more valuable that's the size of a company like Walgreens. That's just my personal opinion. So I don't get too excited about this stuff. I would not be surprised to see this thing come back in the mid 40s sometime soon here.
Well, remember though, this is what I deem to be an undervalued stock, and because I think the earnings have been depressed, so any jump in earnings could have people go, wait a second, let's go. It's a lot different than if it's an overvalued stock, and it's...
That's true.
You know what I mean? That's the difference.
That's true.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with you on that one.
You know, Drop is saying the mindset content market is very bloated. Now, Paul, this is definitely the new trend, whether you're watching TikTok, Instagram. I mean, all of them are follow your dreams, quit your day job, and go live your life.
That's not what I'm trying to teach you.
No, that's not what we're trying to do.
Like the one video I made was don't YOLO things. That's a different mindset than a lot of stuff you're going to see on
The other thing
YouTube.
is we're doing it reverse order. We're trying to get you guys to understand our process and then go to mindset as opposed to the other way around. You know what I mean? It's like our process was created because of mindset, but we know in order to get people's attention, we got to do the exact opposite. So that's what we're doing. And listen, at the end of the day, I got this mindset by brainwashing myself. So what I'm trying to do for you guys is allow yourselves to be brainwashed if you want to. I know it sounds like a weird statement, and taken out of context, it's probably bad, but I just mean it in the sense of in order to really achieve the things you want to achieve, you got to brainwash yourself. And the great news is we're going to put it out there. If you don't like it, you don't like it. You just ignore it. Don't watch it. I mean, we get several hundred views per video, so it seems like people are liking it, and it's exclusive only to our users. So we like that very much.
Folks, Paul and Mo seem to be loving your analysis for the 5-minute deep dives. They're not too deep. They're really treading water. You're getting some from me as well. Again, more mindset, kind of what I've learned. Again, I try to represent, you know, Paul, it's funny. I'd said for many, many episodes that I kind of represent our viewers. I'm kind of the normal guy. And then I got kickback because when I shared my portfolio, so you're not a normal guy. You got a bunch of money saved up, you know, maybe like $500,000. And I'm thinking, I was walking Mo yesterday, kind of by myself. I thought, I didn't make any money up until 30.
Yeah.
And from 30 to 36 years old, I saved 25 grand a year. And then from 36 to 40, I saved 12 grand a year. So whatever that is, Paul, 6 years at 25.
150.
4 years,
Another
years
50.
at 12.
Another 50, so 200,000.
And now I'm at 500,000.
So yeah, I think that you're the normal guy and you're not. You did what you were supposed to do. That's what makes you different. Most people deviate from something like that, and then they like where a normal person should kind of be. You know, it's not like.
And by the way, I think normal in terms of mentality. Seth's mentality was normal person mentality.
Correct.
Yes, he has more money, but listen, I know rich people have normal person mentality because they go, oh, you should buy Tesla, you should buy this. It's like, well,
and that's why
stupid.
that was the pushback. Remember when I said it was the pushback on dollar amount, not the mentality.
Yeah, let's not worry about the dollar amount because you can be rich as F and read psychology of money. You can be rich as F and dumb as F.
Correct.
I see.
So good question here. Somebody asked. Do you mind if I ask?
Oh, go ahead.
So Darko asked, can you please explain how somebody can have negative profit, a company can have negative profit, but positive cash flow? Okay, I'm going to get into a little accounting here. Is that okay?
Yes.
Sounds sexy.
This is this is going to be very boring, and I ask you guys to stick with it. If we were to buy a building, if we were to buy a company for $10 million, okay, and that company makes $1 million a year, let's say hypothetically, we're buying it for 10 million bucks. When you buy it for 10 million, it's not an expense. People will say, oh, they bought this company, that's why they lost money. No, it goes to your asset. For those of you who know accounting, it's a debit to the company. So debit's a fixed asset and a credit to cash. You're spending cash to get this fixed asset. Nothing touches the income statement, okay? So nothing in the profit and loss statement, revenue doesn't change, profit doesn't change. Now the next year, we said this company makes $1 million bucks. Theoretically, next year, the profit should increase by $1 million, et cetera. Now let's say for some reason they screwed up and the company actually only makes $0. Whoops, we bought a company for 10 million bucks. It made $0 for us. And we realized this company's actually worth $0. So let's say hypothetically that year, the company made $100,000. The main company made $100,000. They add the zero from the other company. They made $100,000. But that was their cash flow. But they screwed up and bought this company for $10 million. It's on their books for $10 million. So the government allows them to say, you know what, we screwed up. We paid $10 million too much. You can write off $10 million. The money was spent the previous year, but it's being written off this year's income. So the profit and loss statement will show a loss of $900,000, but the cash flow is still $100,000 because the previous cash, they let them write off their operating income, and can be confusing, and having accounting background is good. But when companies buy companies or pieces of real, whatever it is, and they realize they have the wrong value on their books, they can write it off. But that write-off is a non-cash expense in the year it's written off, because they probably paid for it years and years and years ago in the investing section of the cash flow statement. But they're allowed to write it off to the operating section of their cash flow statement. So that's how you can have a positive free cash flow, but with the negative earnings. So that's the way it is. Is that boring as F or what?
No.
Yeah, I lost track of the show already. The folks in the chat are saying you're tucking in your shirt so that everyone can see that flabby belly's down to a washboard, chiseled abs.
This is why I tucked the shirt in. First off, the cord, and secondly,
show them the abs.
I'm not showing anybody the abs.
You were on the Peloton yesterday shirtless.
I was on it today. Well, yeah, because I was on it today with shirtless.
Yeah.
There you go. Is that better?
I think that is better, Mo. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. You guys are awesome. Mo, it's great to see 150 folks in here. We're almost up to Mo's morning show, which is flossing at 400 or 500 people. I love you.
Thank you, Robbie. I like the tuck too. Tucking in is great.
Robbie, how old are you?
Yeah, Robbie's 65 years old.
Somebody asked in here, I just joined your community, I'm 50. Is it too late? Never too late.
Never too late.
If you're 60, you probably have 30 or 40 more years to live. It's the equivalent of being 30 and wanting to retire at 60. Never too late to get the right mindset.
Wow, Paul, I love that. I'm sorry, what percentage of my account should be in SPY? We say 90-ish.
I say a lot.
Yeah, 80, 90.
As you get better at buying individual stocks, maybe you lessen it, but in the meantime, and so as you're learning, big chunk.
Derek, go on Amazon and buy the little book that beats the market. It's kind of like an SPY, but we think of better stocks, and that's what I'm in. I've YOLO'd everything I got and do the little book stocks, right, Mo? So I love that.
If Paul could ask the CEO of Intel anything, what would we ask him? I don't know.
Can you talk about buying real estate with prices being so high, Paul? I've been waiting on cash, but I don't see South Florida taking much.
Be patient.
Be patient.
I mean, I don't know what to say besides be patient. That's what I've done. We're in the process of possibly selling our largest property.
Come on.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me this.
Yeah, I did tell you this, but it's okay.
Okay. Sorry about
On the show I did, but we'll see. I mean, we'll be sitting there with a bunch of cash doing nothing.
Paul, you don't have any insight on the real estate crisis in China. Mo, you said this Evergrande story was just kind of the news of the week. I haven't heard. It's gone.
It's gone. Except for Evergrande is now getting an EV. Because you know what you're supposed to do when you have $300 billion of debt? Go to a very debt-intensive business and just keep going.
They're going to EV?
They're going to EV.
You're so wise.
They said they're going to make deliver 1 million EVs by 2025.
The real estate business?
Uh-huh. It's like basically a holding company.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. That's interesting.
It is very interesting.
That's very interesting.
Do you think emerging markets may outperform SPY in the next 10 years? Ray Dalio has been buying emerging markets.
I think foreign markets are overlooked compared to U.S. markets, and that means more value potentially.
Paul, do you want to?
I don't really like Ray Dalio much. I don't know why. I just feel like he says things sometimes, and I'm like, eh. Oh well, China is a Ponzi scheme. I don't know about that.
Dalio he's spent so much time in China. It's been like 30 years that he's been there. But yeah, he says other things. I'm like, okay, I don't like that. But it seems like he has a lot of knowledge on China.
China.
When in doubt, go EV. Yep.
Well, Lee Lorber says U.S. markets have been historically the best. I don't know if I necessarily. I look at everything based on. I don't like U.S. companies because they focus too much on the short run. The thing I like about foreign companies is they focus on long run. That's why you don't see quarterly reports on foreign companies very often. I don't like that about U.S. companies. And by the way, for those of you who don't think stocks can go nowhere for 30 years, go look at the Nikkei index from Japan in 1990 versus today. Actually, let's just look it up right now. Nikkei historical chart. It's currently at 28,550. Oh, it doesn't go back that far. It was almost 40,000. Let's go see if I have it on Y charts. Nikkei.
Mo, are we going to get the disruption bell in the studio here?
I should bring one. I got 2.
Do you have 2 copies?
I do have 2 copies.
Oh my God. I love it.
That was a birthday present from Nicole.
She got you the bells?
Yeah.
Because someone cute wrote on it. She wrote on it too?
Yeah.
I went over to Mo's house to set up his microphone and help him over there. And there's this cute little, I saw it in real life, the cute bell.
So on December 29th, 1989, the Nikkei hit an all-time high of 38,955. Okay, 38,955. It is currently 28,550. 32 years later. It is lower than it was in 1989. So for those of you who want to tell me that stocks can go nowhere, if you told somebody in 1989 that the Nikkei would be less than it was 31 years later, that means people born that year. My brother was born in June of 1989. He's never seen the Nikkei as high as it was then. Do you imagine that? Now they were selling for, I think, for like 60 times 10-year PE. The highest we ever got was 42. But listen, that's just the way it works, guys. That's just the way it works.
Paul, we could do a whole stream on, could we do a whole stream on Canadian stocks? We talked about our UK stocks. Is that possible?
See, I don't look at things as what country they're, I just look at things as let's see the company. Like to me, saying a UK stock, or it's like saying, when you go buy a car, do you only focus on American? You just sit there and say, what's the best car I can buy for the value? Now, some people are partial to American cars versus no different than stocks, but I don't look at it as like, let's go concentrate on just doing Japanese cars. Like, no, I want to look at all cars, whatever the best value is for me. I just bought a German car, I have a British car, I have American cars, I have all these things going. It's just.
Well, I think in general, maybe if someone was in England and they wanted to know the top 5 stocks to watch in October, Lloyd's Banking, Rolls-Royce, EasyJet, WM Morrison, and Boohoo Group. I wonder if we could ever, are we, I guess obviously we're just picking American stocks, but anyway, folks, we're trying. We see your suggestions. There's tons of suggestions, and we're trying to get to as many of them as we can. We certainly appreciate your help.
By the way, most of them we won't get to. Why? Because there's 1,000 of them. So it's just and I don't mean it to be a jerk. I just mean it as we've gotten this far in the channel by doing things a certain way, and we're going to incorporate certain things into our channel. But we want to stay true to a lot of it, what we believe in. And, that's why we do a lot of videos on the stocks that we love so much, because we want you guys to see why we love them.
If I max out my Roth IRA, should I invest in a traditional brokerage account, Eric says.
If you max out all your tax-deferred accounts, then yes.
Yeah.
But max out your tax-deferred accounts first. I love that.
For sure.
If you have a 401k, when I say max it out, most people go, well, I just go to the point where they stop matching me. No, you can put 19.5 or 20,500 into your 401k. I don't care if your company only matches 1% in the first 1%. You max out. You go to 20,500, whatever the number is, max that out, max out whatever IRA you're allowed to, then start saving as separate. And by the way, that alone, if you're making 100 grand a year, that alone is enough.
Tom, I think it's funny, Tom, I think I found your Facebook name. Tom from Germany is asking a question, and he worded it very much like someone was putting in another comment. Can we see a stream someday where Paul and Mo do due diligence on a company live that we're currently invested in? He'd like to go into their 10K shows to look for. Paul, I think in general, you coach people to do due diligence, but then on another show last week you said that you don't do much more, right?
I don't go in, so I'm imagining my friend Gary Mashuras from Silver, I've invested with him. He interviews, I think of due diligence as interviewing customers, employees, ex-employees, suppliers, all these things. I don't do that. What I do is I skim the 10K, I look at the company, make sure the financials make sense. Because remember, I'm trying to buy bigger companies. I want to buy the Intels of the world, the Walgreens of the world. I'm not trying to buy these obscure small companies where you have to really, really know everything in detail. I actually don't believe you need to do massive due diligence to do well in investing. I think you need to stick to a few parameters that make sense and then weed out the crap companies based on whatever you see and what makes sense to you. I preach due diligence because to me, due diligence involves more than just I like the company. It involves look at their financials historically. How do they do during past recessions? Go look when it comes to retail. Are there there are certain attributes of certain companies that I want to look at. How are same-store sales doing in retail? If it's an internet company, how's their growth per user growth? How's their revenue? All these things that matter. But I don't read top to bottom. I used to read the 10Ks top to bottom. Now I'm just like, I don't really think it's necessary. But that's for me. For me, I'm okay beating the market by 2 or 3 percentage points a year because I'll do options along the way and make another 2 or 3% a year. I'm beating by 4 to 6% a year, which is an astronomical sum of money. I don't need any more. So I do like skimming the 10K, but I don't like going, I don't like going, and I like seeing the articles that are written. I go to Seeking Alpha a lot. I want to see what other people have written on the bullish and bear case for the companies. I actually like that one a lot because those guys will do a good job of giving some ideas about why something is good or bad.
Mo, do you want to add or you're great?
Oh, I agree
love
with
you.
that.
You know, Paul, I was spacing out during that last soliloquy by you because someone said you guys should check out Michael Burry's tweets. He's going on a Twitter rampage, and Paul, I think each one of these tweets is an entire show for us. I don't even know where to start. One about taxing the rich, crim me. Oh
what do you say about taxing the rich?
Yeah, what do you say about that?
Okay, you
Does
ready?
he believe in it?
Top 1%. 21% of income, 40% of taxes. Bottom 90% paid just 28% of taxes.
Yep.
Top one tax rate is 7% higher than rate paid by the bottom 50%. Biden tells the rich pay like everyone else. So
Do you really want to get in this conversation right now?
no, that's why I'm not going to do that one.
Yes.
I don't want to do that one.
No, we're going to do this one. Guys, I'm a libertarian. A certain group of people have done a really, really good job of making this about us versus them.
Let me finish it. So is this a tax cut for the rich, or do we want class
No,
warfare
he's saying pay
built
like
on
everybody
lies?
else does, so a tax cut for the rich, or class warfare built on lies.
Yes.
So when they say pay your fair share, last time I checked, if we have a cake
Yes.
and we cut it in half, you get one half, I get one half.
Seems fair.
Seems fair. What they're saying though is you make more money, therefore you should pay more money. Okay, great. When you were in school, if you got 100% of the test and your classmate got a 70, is it okay to take 10 points away from you, give it to them, they get a B minus, you get an A minus, everybody's still happy? It's really weird to me that Seth has a PhD. Seth, how many points did you give away on your test to your classmates?
None, actually.
Why not though? That's not fair.
Go on. You're right.
That's my point. The left has done a really, really, really amazing job of doing this marketing of they're evil and you're held down because of them. They hate you. It's not the case. The original tax code in 1913 was 7% on every income above what's today $11 million. 7% on what today is $11 million. What's the highest bracket now? What's the highest bracket now?
Percentage?
39.6% on everything above 300?
Yeah, 400 maybe.
And that was supposed to be a temporary income tax. So I'm looking at saying, when they say pay your fair share, I always laugh at that. Because Biden's also the same guy who takes every tax loophole he can get. Obama's the same guy who takes every tax loophole he can get. Every single one they can get.
I've gone through an interesting journey, Paul. I was raised under the liberal, very democratic household. And then I surrounded myself with a bunch of folks who have money in businesses. And now I've gone through both, where I have had very little money in this world. My dad drove a drum truck, and now I'm a business owner, Paul. And so I've
But why should you change your views just because you should have the right views of guys. You shouldn't change your views because it affects you.
Well,
I hate smoking, but I don't think there should be a ban on smoking anywhere.
Well, it's really hard to have your views change until it starts affecting
but then
you,
everybody
right?
tells you like, oh, I'm a free thinker. No, you're not a free thinker. You're just thinking for yourself.
Well, that's true.
Somebody
right.
wrote here, Dimitri wrote, what about in 2008? I hate bailing out companies and rich people. Nothing makes me more mad. And I actually hold rich people more accountable saying, you already had it good. If you fucked it up, that's on you. You should pay for it. I do believe that 100%. I 100% believe that rich people should be nicer. They should be more generous. But I don't think the government should sit there and say, you are required, and then you give us the money and we suck. And by the way, the Warren Buffetts of the world who are liberals, every single dollar they have, they're donating to charity. They're not even letting the government touch it. So that's where Warren Buffett being a hypocrite. He talks about the government's so great, bigger government, I'm a Democrat, but every single dollar of his money that he has, he's donating to charity. It's a private enterprise. So anyways, when people say pay your fair share, to me, pay your fair share is you're 20%, you're 20%, you're 20%, you're 20%. Not, oh, you make more money, therefore you have to pay 35 or 40%. That's not fair share, because guess what? Were you there when I was losing money the first 4 years? Where was your check when I was losing money the first 3 or 4 years of my business? When I have a bad year, where's your check? Write me the check. You want to be partners with me? Be partners with me. Write me a check when I lost $250,000 on this channel in the first year and a half.
Yeah.
Where was your check, Seth?
$250,000.
Tim? Mo?
$250,000.
By the way, Mo actually offered. Mo actually did offer. I don't mean it to call them out. I'm just sitting there saying, let's not buy into bullshit of fair share. It's a good spin. It's a really amazing spin, but yet nobody, no factory worker, no offense, is writing a check when their factory is going under. Why not? Want a fair share? Let's write that fair share check. The government's not writing them a check, and I don't believe the government should. Government should never, ever interfere with private enterprise. Drop the mic.
Pen drop.
So anyways, thanks for bringing that up.
Love that.
Rules aren't rigged for the rich? What does that mean? I don't even know what that means, rigged for the rich. How are they rigged for the rich? Last time I checked, my tax liability is a lot higher than everybody else's.
Yeah.
How is that rigged for the rich?
It keeps going up. It ain't coming down. So how is it rigged for the rich?
Tell me. I'll wait. I'll wait.
We're going to be waiting here a long time.
Yes.
So anyways, what's the point to keep on working? I don't get it. 70. By the way, the highest tax bracket, and I always ask liberals this, and they never get the right answer. I said, what was the highest tax bracket? 1961, 91%. Maybe it was 92%. And guess who believed in decreasing taxes? And he, direct quote, not only should taxes be lower, they should be taxed especially lower on the rich because they provide jobs.
JFK?
JFK, John fucking Kennedy, the beacon of the Democratic Party. And he believed in strong foreign policy, and he believed, which I don't agree with, and he believed in less taxes for the rich because they create jobs. We're greedy assholes. We're gonna go create more and more businesses so we can make more and more money, and that employs people. But we can't do that. No, the government's gonna be the one to take it. We're gonna take your money and distribute it to people.
Yes.
Thank you, Groove. Yeah.
Here's a comment. I don't know where Walter's going with this, but he said, how much did Amazon pay in taxes? It doesn't matter. They followed the laws that were on the books.
And guess what?
Just like every other person, just like every other liberal followed the laws on the books.
Jeff Bezos is a liberal, and he still defends himself saying, hey, we follow the tax code.
Any politician, Warren Buffett, you go through all of these people,
let me
they're
slow
the
this
exact ones
down.
that are doing
Walter,
exactly what these companies
I
are doing.
hear you. As a recovering liberal, I hear you. Like when you hear the news stories that Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk pay zero in taxes, but you're damn well sure that you and I'm talking to my accountant to get all the tax breaks I can.
By the way,
so there's really
Jeff
not
Bezos
much of
pays tax. Who's saying Jeff Bezos doesn't pay tax?
Well, I mean, you see the news articles.
It's a lie. By the way, Jeff Bezos' net worth going up, he should not be taxed on that. That whole wealth tax is a terrible idea. So your net worth goes up? There's no income. It's the net worth going up. There's no income there. In order to have income, an asset must be sold. Something must be sold to have income. The second Jeff Bezos sells a stock, he will have a tax gain.
10X is saying a flat tax will eliminate all these issues, Paul.
You know what to eliminate the issues? I had a thing called a one tax plan.
We did a video on it. Go back and watch.
We did a video on it. It was actually, it makes the best of both sides. If you're over 18, you get a check for $1,500 a month, whether you want to work or not. But there's a flat tax of 28%. It generates the exact same amount of revenue, less hassle, less IRS issues. Everybody's happy. The rich people get their flat tax. Poor people get a check for just staying home. We cut the budgets. We have a balanced budget, and we pay down debt. And it works on the current system right now with revenue. Is onetaxplan still up? Onetaxplan.org. Let me see. Oh, one tax.
Yeah, Walter's staying with it. Walter's saying, where's the fair share? Walter, if I'm paying 25% of 40 grand as a cashier at Walmart, and then Paul's paying 40% of making $10 million a year, that is, in my mind, the definition of a fair share. Unfortunately, I think people want the rich to pay more than that, even though the money that they're paying of their 40% is indeed more, but it's not quite
way
like
more.
that. Yeah, it's not quite
way
like that.
more. And by the way,
I thought that all the time, the fair share, and then Paul's like, well, wait a minute, fair is exact amount of money.
Right. Not exact. By the way, I'm not even asking for exact amount of money. I'm asking for same percentage.
Same percentage.
If you make $1 million, and by the way, the one tax plan is great. You know why? Look at it this way. Let's say you do have a job. Basically, if you get $1,500 a month, that's $18,000 a year. If the tax rate is 27%, you would essentially pay zero taxes on all income up to $75,000. So those of you watching, you make under $75,000 a year, you're gonna pay zero taxes and get money back. So the idea is everybody above the age of 18 gets $18,000 a year, tax-free, do whatever you want with it. And everything above $75,000 a year, you pay 27%. So if you make $1 million, You pay $270,000. You get your $18,000 back. So you net pay $252,000.
I accept.
You pay 25%.
I accept.
You make 75 grand, you pay 0 in tax, get no check. You get 0%. So now you make less money, you pay less percentage. And I'm happy because I got my flat tax here. And I know every single year what I'm gonna be making in my pocket. And it allows me to go invest, because right now, this 270, I don't pay 270. I pay 450 in taxes, at least on my $1 million. I have 180 grand now to be a greedy a-hole and go start more businesses and invest in my business and make more money. That hires more people, that puts more food on the table, that sends more people to college, that puts more people into cell phones, and puts more people into sneakers, everything they want to do.
One of my favorite things is when people are like, tax the rich, and then...
You already do tax the rich.
But then it's like, who's the one that's going to keep creating the jobs? They're not. The rich people don't just put the money in their pocket. They're rich because they want to keep moving forward and building more and more and more.
Yeah, and in the end, folks.
Have you ever worked for a broke person?
If you have, as I was gonna say, if you haven't experienced this, I have. That was the switch, Paul. Is I've switched from saying all this stuff to now becoming a little wealthy enough to employ people, see how it affects my bottom line, and then I get increases on supply chain issues, so I have to charge more, and I have to own a business, and so if you're saying
you have to handle all the cash flow, by the way. So if people don't pay you and you have employees, do you still pay them?
Of course.
Well, that's not fair share. Where's your fair share there? I don't see if I have no cash flow in a month, yet my employees want to be paid, I tell them, sorry guys, we didn't have cash flow this month, you don't get paid. You know what would happen to me? What would happen to me?
Yeah, I always heard when I was younger, Paul, I heard people say, I'm not rich enough or old enough to be a Republican. And I was like, well, yeah, it's like once you start handling more businesses and start realizing how you're affected by it, then all of a sudden it becomes a bigger thing.
So it's funny you mentioned that. Then there's a lot of wealthy people who are liberals. By the way, I don't like Republican versus Democrat, liberal versus conservative.
Sure.
Look at what people do, not what they say. When I see Warren Buffett saying, I want the Democrat, I want bigger government, all this stuff, and then they go donate all their money to charity, I'm looking at what he does. When he says the market's fine, and I see a $200 billion in cash sitting on the sideline doing nothing, I know the market's not fine. When I see Jeff Bezos talk about all these big government ideas he has, and then defends why he doesn't pay taxes, and Tim fucking Cook, of all fucking people, the Apple CEO, that sack of shit,
okay, now take
bashes all these right-wingers, and then he defends the fact they don't pay any taxes. Write your fucking check.
Now let's slow down a bit.
No, write your if you're a liberal out there, you want more taxes, you have all the right in the world to add more money to your fucking tax check. Go do it. Go fucking do it.
I'm not gonna do that.
No, nobody's gonna do it.
No.
Nobody's gonna do it.
Well, I'm sorry I opened that up a bit, but some people are saying they like us more. I mean, some people might like us less, but that's sort of the thoughts we have. And they're not so much mine, Paul. I don't agree with everything this lunatic's saying, but I was raised that I shouldn't be. So anyway, guys, I know it's...
By the way, for all you libs out there, you guys all love all these ideas until it starts to affect you. The second it affects you,
that's me.
You hide underneath the table, you complain, you cry, you fucking scream, say, this is not what I intended. That's what you fucking get, losers.
Well, that was me. That was me.
That's what you get.
Yeah, that was me.
He has a friend, we all know, they cried and complained the second, it drives me nuts.
It does, Paul. It does
drives me effing nuts, because every liberal in the world loves big government until, I literally once had a communist say to me, this is BS, this is communism. I'm like, I thought you liked communism, and word for word they said, not when it affects me. I was like, fuck you.
At least they're honest. Okay.
I use the C word.
Should we get back to
Yes.
Should we get back to investing?
Paul seemed happier with an extra 10 pounds.
He was frothy like Santa. Yeah, guys. So I mean, you're right. When Paul, you do come across. That is a swift slap in the face, and we've had these conversations.
What's a swift slap in the face?
Well, everything you just said in the past 5 minutes. But
listen, I always tell everybody, come prove me wrong. Show me your books. Show me where you said you did exactly what you said that you believed. If you show it to me and say, I believe in higher taxes and I'm willing to pay more, I will respect you. I swear to God, I'll respect you to the day I die, because you're actually doing what you say. But until you do that, shut the fuck up, go start a business, and go earn more money so you can pay more taxes.
That's just it.
Fuck all of you who don't believe that. This is not good for my image. My image was fucked a long time ago, Carlos.
Yeah. This is uncensored, Paul. And Paul, we did have a Patreon that said, "Can you please, guys, tone down the language?" But this
is a private Patreon.
That ship has sailed.
This is a private. This is a private thing.
Oh, I would hope so, Paul.
You know, it's like
You're wiping
what's that
sweat
movie?
off your brow.
What's that movie? It's the liberal president, American president. And like Michael J. Fox, so it's like mother effing this guy on the phone. He's trying to get this guy to vote for him. He's like, I'm gonna F you. He hangs up and the guy, and he goes, that was a no. He's like, I sure hope that was a no. We have to work on our like communication skills or something like that.
Well, it's only private until someone makes it public. So, you know, I mean, there you go, Paul. So, yeah. So
I just sent my 2-year-old.
I mean, listen,
funny.
Listen, you guys. I know.
That hurts. I look like Joe Pesci. Oh, Giuseppe.
Check, please. Yep.
I believe I'm taller than Joe Pesci. I'm 5'8".
Absolutely.
What's he? How tall is he?
Guys, I've had these conversations with Paul a lot, and I would say this is not what you just saw. This is not normal, Paul. This is get fired up, Paul. This is not. You were much worse years ago, but we don't talk about this a lot anymore.
I don't know why I think this conversation irks me the most because it's a mixture of hypocrisy and lack of understanding. That's what I think bothers me so much about it. Hypocrisy and contradiction.
And I would say the lack of understanding is because, like, not being in that position, as you say, until it actually affects you, you can't possibly have the mindset. I have no idea what it feels like to give birth. I have no idea what it feels like to go to space until it does, and then I'll have an opinion on it, you know? And so...
See, I don't think that's, like, I think to myself, like
this to me, I don't know.
Why, though?
We
can have opinions even if we don't have an experience in it.
And this one, to me, there's, like, such common sense things behind it. That's the thing that it's just... I don't know, it just is. I don't think it's affected me.
So here's one thing he said right there. Seth said, I can't have an opinion until I experience it. Because I've had people say to me, Paul, you can't have an opinion on abortion because you don't experience it.
Oh, the show's over. Don't even say...
No, time out. Forget about abortion because I don't care.
Please don't.
But here's what I say to people. Great. We agree with that one? Great. Have you ever made $1 million? Nope. Then you can't have an opinion. You can't vote on it then. Oh, wait a sec. Oh, that sucks, doesn't it?
Yash says, I thought this channel...
What?
Yash says, I thought this channel was about investing, and now I'm getting flipped off. Well, there you go. Welcome to the show.
Hey, I take that back. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Listen, I get fired up on this topic because I think...
do you have an opinion on murder, by the way? Timmy's asking.
Yeah, I think murder's wrong. It takes away somebody's right to freedom.
Yeah, but you've never done it, so...
Exactly. That's true.
Okay,
that's true.
Folks, I see a lot of new names.
By the way, did you see that where I posted on Instagram, guys?
Go on.
That Nike executive just came out and said, yeah, I killed somebody at just 16, like literally point blank, shot him, got away with it, and became one of Jordan's best friends, became a Portland Trailblazers like head of basketball. He just came out recently and said, I had to get off my chest. It was weighing down on me. I was having nightmares. He killed a guy at 16, literally shot him right in the chest.
What happened? Did you go to jail?
No, he didn't get caught. I don't know what's going to happen now because they identified the guy that it probably was. So I'm wondering, like, can the family come back to him and say, like, hey, listen, you're rich now, like, pay up. Like, what's going to happen with that? I mean,
where'd you post this?
Michael's correct, actually. He said, one of the things that you guys are growing is how Paul doesn't have to sugarcoat it and step on people's toes. That is the confidence I like in you, Paul, that, like, it obviously, does it come off arrogant and does it come off brass? Absolutely. But, like, I need somebody in my life that can say this stuff to my face and we can still be friends about, we talk about mindset, about am I willing to do, you've said to me, you're not willing. You're not willing to do what it takes to put this company where it needs to be. And it's like, God, I guess you're right, Paul.
But you know what? The same token though, Seth, I don't want to sit this to inflate your ego, but listening to you has made me go, okay, does Seth mean these things intentionally? Well, no, Seth's a good person. So there's that other side of me that goes, that used to think, but dealing with Seth more, used to think like somebody believed something and it was an anti-Paul thing or an anti, and it's just like, no, Seth grew up different than me. Seth grew up very different than me. So that's something that I've learned in the last year or two about the differences in the way we grow up and all that stuff really does affect the way in which we look at the world. That doesn't mean we shouldn't have conversations about it. Listen, I talk openly about my therapy. My therapist and I once got in disagreement about this because I said to her something, she said something about the rich need to pay more in taxes. And I said, something about Walmart. And she goes, well, like, these Walmart CEOs, why do they make so much money? And I'm like, do you know what Walmart makes in profit? What percentage? She said 50%. I went like this. She goes, oh, 40? I go, no, 4% in profit.
Yes.
She was like, whoa. I was like,
they
do $500 billion in revenue, $20 billion in profit.
That's my first statement.
And they pay $20-30 million to their top 3 or 4 executives. I'm like, we're talking about literally 1 penny out of every $10. And we're worried about that?
It's business.
It's just the way it is.
It's surprising. My mother to this day will go, my mother to this day will vote on one side, and she says, those terrible people at Walmart, what they're doing. And I'm like, Mom, they make 4 cents on every dollar they have to put out. I mean, it's just, it's crazy. So,
and by the way, just because my dad was a doctor, I know a lot of them stupid doctors who believe in, like one of my good friends, the doctor here, every time he posts on Facebook, I literally want to go to his house and put a bullet in his head. Because he's the typical guy who says, I have no problem paying more in taxes. And when I ask him, have you paid more in taxes? No, I follow exactly what I owe. So you do have a problem with paying more. You only don't have a problem if it's everybody else paying along with you. But you won't do it yourself and lead the way. You're just going to wait till everybody's required to. That's called selfish.
I'm selfish when it comes to me, for sure.
Well, we all should be. Paul is not 5'8". Nobody says there. By the way, Leroy, it's funny you mentioned that. I used to say I was 5'9", and finally my ex-girlfriend goes, "Can you please stop with the 5'9" thing?" I'm like, all right.
I think the first show, Tim, remember that first show we ever did? You were sitting down, Paul, and I said, "Oh, I can see you have your lifts in your shoes." Marco is saying, "Oh, that was the best one line."
By the way, we saw Marco at the restaurant.
Different Marco, but I love you. Is it just me, or is it difficult to sit on cash, Paul? This is the patience.
My marriage analogy is.
Your thoughts, Paul?
What was that?
Is it just me, or is it difficult to sit on cash?
Oh, it's extremely difficult.
Mindset.
Of course it's extremely difficult. You know why? Because you have the FOMO going. You see the markets going up. You see everybody else around you making all this money so easily, and you're sitting on cash making nothing. It sucks. It absolutely sucks. And that's what we're trying to teach here is be patient. And when you find the right opportunity, you jump on it. That's the point. But it's so difficult to sit on cash. I've gotten used to it. My brother and I joke that the last 5 years have been awful. When I say awful for us, I'm exaggerating slightly, but we haven't made the gains everybody else has made in the stock market. And a lot of people out there on YouTube criticize that. To which I sit there and say, you're criticizing me for not chasing returns. It doesn't work for me. That's my different mentality. But there'll be a time, I'm 40, I've got 60 more years of living. I'm okay if I miss 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, 20, I don't care. What I care about doing is every deal I do, every stock I buy, it's fundamentally based and it can grow. And that's what you should have. And it's very, very difficult, guys. Trust me when I say I used to have FOMO too. I had FOMO in the early 2000s. I couldn't miss out. And it cost me so much money. It's the hardest thing to do in investing. Investing isn't about the numbers. Investing is about emotion, 100%.
It's this inner confidence you have, Paul, and talk about sticking to your laurels. So we got in a little bit of beef with a Russian YouTuber, and to this day, Paul, multiple times, he will call you out as this little pissant from Akron with a limo business who made no money the last 5 years. And I've even asked you off the show, how do you make no money? I mean, they even said, like, even a dumb idiot can make money in this market, and your response has always been,
yeah, it is a dumb idiot who made money in this market. Everybody, I don't care. I follow value, guys. And if value is not there, I don't buy. It's just something ingrained in me that's just like into my core. If I don't believe it, it doesn't happen. And people say you're missing out. Okay, maybe I'm missing out. But it's not like there's 2 investments in the world that are offered. I'm going to have thousands and thousands of investment opportunities in my lifetime. I'm okay with that.
Not just Palantir and Tattooed Chef?
Yeah. I mean, listen. At the end of the day, I'll be the guy 20, 30 years from now with them. Everybody says that about real estate. I don't know anybody with the real estate returns I have on the debt levels that I have. I have low debt levels and really high returns. Most of the people I know with even close to my returns have massive debt levels. I'm sorry, I win. I win every single time.
Wow, look at this. Paul, do you analyze your past relationships and figure out what's wrong to move forward?
Absolutely, that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why that's why I have a couples counselor. When I was with my ex-girlfriend, I believe in that from day one, before there's even problems. Day one, start seeing somebody. 100% I do this. I read books. There's a book on my nightstand right now that I'm reading little bit by little bit. It says How to Be an Adult in Relationships. Absolutely. It's all about getting better, guys. Because I look at relationships as more important than this investing stuff. I just like learning and getting better. I love nothing more than when I do finally have a good relationship, that it's successful and we don't even worry about arguments. It's like, okay, well, we're gonna have a disagreement here. Let's talk about it. We'll get through it. Done. Of course I do. That's the first thing I do. To me, the most important aspects of life are relationships and money. And they get intertwined a lot too. The woman I'm currently speaking to, that we're not in a relationship yet, but the one I'm currently speaking to, we've already had the conversation about money. Like, how do you view money? Because I have money and she doesn't have as much. And if it works out together, and we end up together, we got to understand, how do we work money together? And how do we do it in a way that she doesn't feel like she's not equal in the relationship with me? Because I want her to be equal in the relationship with me. I'm a big believer unlike many people in this, maybe not many people in this room, Seth, I think, merges money. I'm a big believer is when you get married, your money's all the same.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, you're old school. I know, I agree. But a lot of people these days don't. And I'm like, what the heck? I have friends of mine who go, yeah, my wife pays the mortgage, I pay the car payments. And I'm like, what do you mean I pay? What do you mean your wife pays?
My sister does. I couldn't even rationalize what they were saying. Like, he pays the mortgage. I'm thinking to myself, what kind of relationship have we got here when, like...
It's a very common thing these days. But
okay,
to
maybe
me,
I'm
and with the money I have, I look at it going, no, it's going to be our money.
I'm old school, baby. I mean, I
I'm
guess
not planning on having kids. Curtis, let's see how much our relationship will grow with a 10, 12 and a half, and 15% gain in our happiness. Listen, I'm very big on... Matthew, I'm very big on equality in relationship in the sense of, not in the sense, it's not in the sense of this. The things that matter to me, I'm in charge of. The things that matter to you, you're in charge of. I literally will say things like, I don't care. And sometimes I get upset. I'm like, listen, is it important for you that I care? If it's important for you, I care, I will care. But if it's not important, I'm just not going to care. And there are some things, like for example, when I do get married, I will handle all the investing. That doesn't mean the person shouldn't be involved in those investing decisions and understand what I'm doing, but I will handle all the investing. Right?
I would think so.
Yeah, because it's my thing.
And
But I don't want to pay bills.
She'll handle the interior design.
Well, if it's that person.
We're hoping it is. Speaking of, Mo, how's your love life with the dear Nicole?
Wonderful. Nicole's wonderful.
He's a man of many words, folks.
I am. Nicole is wonderful.
She's stunning.
Yes, she is.
So nice.
Super nice.
And now the gals are talking behind our backs, Mo.
I know.
They text each other. They go get
talk more
coffee
than we
and
talk.
wine. Yeah. My name's Seth, by the way. Nice to meet you.
Did I say your name wrong?
No, I was just joking.
Oh.
You know how I'm always like, it's Paul, right? Thoughts on Bristol Miles Squib, Paul? I'm kidding.
So D-Snave wrote, well, my wife and I have similar income, so it makes it easier. I'm like, what does it matter? Yeah, it doesn't matter. To me, it's like, I don't care if your wife makes zero and you make all the money or vice versa. Just, it's your guys' money. By the way, you know who agrees with me? The law. The government agrees with me. It's your money. At the end of the day, if something happens, you guys are going to be responsible for that money together.
We're there, man. Nidge is asking how DGF is going. Folks, of the 8 or 9 businesses Paul owns, I have 2 myself, Seth and Beth Wedding Photography, and DGF Spray. I bought this company 2 years ago now, Paul. And we doubled our sales this year. We're on Amazon. We're doing great. It's a side business for me. And it doesn't take up too much money. And this could be a full-time gig for me, Paul, but it's really not. It's sort of.
Would you enjoy it?
Seth.
It was a full-time
Yes.
gig.
Every time you say we doubled our sales this year, I think about when when Pam was in the office.
Yes.
And Andy goes, and she goes, Pam goes, I doubled my sales this year. And Andy goes, what, from 1 to 2? And she goes, yup. Every time you say that, I think of that.
We're doing good, though. We're doing good. And hopefully we'll be bought out by some bigger company in the very near future.
Go start working on that.
Yeah, we'll work on that. So,
listen, we got on a tangent, but these are the things I like talking about with people because, like, to me, money in relationships is such an important aspect. It is so important. It's so important to understand where, and when you're young and fall in love, I mean, Xavier, you're 22.
uh-oh, get him on
Yeah,
mic.
let's get Xavier on microphone. Is he on?
Yeah, he's on. Get him the mic.
So Xavier's our new intern, I guess you call him. Xavier, you have a girlfriend, right?
Correct. Yes.
Do you think you're gonna marry her?
Uh-oh.
I mean, that's the long-term plan.
Talking to the
Okay,
mic.
how old are
Talking to the
you?
mic.
How old is
20.
she? Sorry.
She's 21. I'm 22.
Okay, I knew you were 22. That's why I said that. I already said it already.
See,
How long have you guys been dating?
Almost a year and a half.
Have you talked about money yet?
Yes.
What have you guys talked about?
I'm kind of the same thing, just like that it's going to be equal for the most part. We both kind of value just like, both kind of hoarders, just like save money,
So
save money.
she saves a lot and you save a lot?
Yeah.
Is it good? Is the microphone good?
I hope so.
Just trying to keep
It sounds great.
That's good. By the way,
yeah,
that's a hard thing. If one person's a big saver and one person isn't, that can cause problems. Doesn't mean they're not insurmountable problems, but there are problems nonetheless. Man, that's pretty good. You're lucky because most young people don't talk about money.
Oh,
when I
absolutely.
dated in college, I never talked about money with anybody.
Sure.
With my girlfriends at the time. Girlfriends, one.
Gene, welcome, man.
Transparency is key.
Paul, do you have puts on Sleep Number?
I don't remember. Maybe I
do.
do.
Mo does?
Yeah, I do.
We're liking Sleep Number.
And by the way, I'm coming back with my portfolios, but they're gonna be on videos.
Oh.
I'm not gonna disclose them on a post. I'm gonna do a video in a few good minutes. They'll be posted. And I'll do them once every month or two, and it'll just show the positions. Why I'm not going to disclose number of shares and my
Entry
buy
points?
points.
Entry points, yeah.
Because at the end of the day, what matters is I have these stocks and I like them. Whether they're a good buy then or not is a totally different story. But something that, let's say for example, Alibaba. my basis is like 174. If it goes to 600, if I think it's worth 550, I ain't selling it, but I'm not buying more, right? If I think Alibaba's gonna be worth, what was that?
You don't want to share your average.
I probably won't in general. Maybe I will sometimes here or there because the cost basis always changes.
What I like about you sharing that average cost basis, what I like you, and sorry, we're just having a conversation off the cuff, but what I like about you sharing that average cost basis is that we can see that just because, actually I'll drop Mo's point here with Apple.
What?
Mo, you have Apple at $23 is your cost
That's my
basis.
basis,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, we're not saying Apple's a buy now, and so somebody might find a video down the road, Paul, where there might be a point we don't buy Intel anymore. There will be a point we don't buy
You're
Intel
right,
anymore.
Tim. But
There'll be a
By the way,
point.
I'll disclose cost basis on a need.
I just like that average cost basis.
On a need-to-know basis. Only, guys, remember one thing. I've got real estate. I've got businesses. I've got options. I have stocks. I have 4 things that are generating really high amounts of money. You can't possibly make the same decisions based on my information. It is not possible. It's not fair. So when you look at my investments, I'm much more likely to hold money in my stock account because I've got 3 other ways of making money. So it's not as important to me to go make money in stocks. So I can be a lot more conservative. That's the reason why I don't want to show, well, I guess that's more for number of shares. Maybe I'll show the cost basis. I'll start showing that in a, but either way, the whole point is, I think it's absolutely ridiculous, but it's also going to make for a fun video. It will make for a fun video. And I like doing options a lot, and I think it's going to add my returns and et cetera, et cetera.
Paul, you don't recommend normal folks to be sitting on cash like you, right?
I do not. If you have a lot of cash sitting right now, pick a plan, maybe a 24-month plan, put equal amounts for the next 24 months in some broad-based, low-cost ETFs.
Oh, Rev, read the little book that beats the market. You can buy it on Amazon. It's a very short read, about a 4-hour read, and that'll give you insight on getting in either SPY ETF or getting into little books. If you're sitting on some cash, that's what you can do with it. Yeah. Let's see, what else, Paul?
That's a good idea.
What's that?
Gene Ocean. Cost basis isn't important anyway, which I agree with you, Gene, or Jean, but I'd like to know what you value the stock at. That's not a bad idea. That's actually a pretty good idea. Like, hey, I have the stock here. Walgreens is here. I think it's a $70 stock. That's why I own it.
I see.
Right? That's a good idea. I like that a lot more. Cost basis doesn't matter. That's why, by the way, there's nothing I'm trying to hide. It's just I'm very big on what's the relevant information. And what I value the stock at is a lot more relevant. That's a good point.
Paul, what percentage do you have in cash?
93. Of my brokerage account, 93%.
Jeez.
Of my net worth,
But Crossroads
60%?
too. I mean, we're talking like multiple tens of millions of dollars ready to buy when everything crashes, right?
yeah, things are good at Crossroads. Meet me at the Crossroads.
Meet at the Crossroads. Okay, Rev. Oh, hey, Joseph. He's new here. Thanks for coming in. Just to recap, I'm sure it's all new folks. This week we did videos on Lucid, a Dave Ramsey reaction that got fiery. Ford, HPQ, way undervalued, folks. Check out HPQ in your 8-pillar software right now. Tips on starting a business and getting shit done. Multi-bagger stocks.
This is my favorite Patreon live stream I've ever done.
Boy, I mean,
Tim said the same thing.
As well.
Is that what you said too?
Yeah, I've just been standing over here because
one
you
ever.
are on a roll and I am not interrupting.
I like getting fired up, but the funny part is, in my
texted
personal life, what was that?
I texted Nicole and I was like, you're missing out on this. She's like, send me the link. I said, just go back to the tax part and start there.
So great questions though. Somebody asked, am I making any money on that money? No, like practically nothing. I have them in 90-day treasuries. What are 90-day treasuries paying? Like 0.1%? I don't know what they're paying. But I do sell
90
options.
days, 0.04.
so here's what I can't. This is the normal person to me, Paul.
Here's the union boss right here.
No, not at all. If
Hoffa.
I understand sitting on cash, there's nothing to buy, but Jesus, everything just went up so much.
I know.
You don't just buy like a little something. I mean, or
are.
we're all just lucky. Is that what we're saying, Paul? Is it?
Listen, here's what I'd
we're
ask
all
you.
just lucky this
Is
happened?
your neighbor's 7-year-old pimply kid advising you on investments? If he is, then yes, everyone's just lucky. Guys, I've seen this time and time again. The realtors today that are taking credit for the market, even though it's not them, they're the same realtors who say, "08 screwed me. The market economy screwed me." Wait a second. So when things went bad, it was the economy, but when things are good, it's you?
I talked about this at lunch, Paul.
different.
I mean, it's no offense to like someone who's not in a career, but I had a neighbor and she's a housewife. I love housewives. I mean,
tuck you
they're
back in.
incredible. But she went from housewife with very little experience to one Facebook post later, she's a realtor. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, what is going on out there, Paul,
Yeah.
right? And That's the type of market, right, Mo?
Yeah, I mean, there was somebody who worked here. She was doing very well, doing sales, and she left to go be a realtor. And it's like,
And more power to her. I hope she does great. But
true, but that just goes to the point that literally anybody thinks they could be a realtor in this. They think it's the realtor that's making the market,
Go ahead,
not the
Paul.
market.
B wrote a great question. How is Paul able to achieve 12 to 13% returns on portfolio even though he has 93% of his portfolio in cash? It's not a year-to-year basis. I'm talking about long periods of time. I also have real estate. That's stocks. Overall, for my entire portfolio of businesses, real estate, and stocks, I expect to make 15+%. That is something that I'm very confident in.
Oh, look at Rock asking, what's the best piece of advice Paul ever gave you when you first met? Guys, what we did on the show today, Paul, I think you said at one point, Paul, let's do lunch. We sat down at lunch and he drew out the B to Y of like, you want to be worth this much money. Let's go backwards in time. I need to have, if you want 10,000 units when you're 70, then it's going to be 5,000 units when you're 60. And then we need 2 units by next year. And I was like, oh my God, no one ever said, let's just do the next thing. That would probably be the best. The B to Y.
Yeah, you might be right.
Very much.
By the
stuck
way,
with
Seth
me.
and I met in high school. We went to high school together, but we weren't friends in high school. We reconnected at a Cavs game in 2016 or 7, right after the Cavs won the finals.
Yeah.
So we haven't known each other. We've only known each other for a short period of time, and yeah, it's been awesome. Seth is listen. This channel, when we were doing it just as a podcast before, Seth was the one who was just like directing me. Remember that, Tim? He was just like, Paul, no, say it like this.
Yes.
And I was like, I can't do that.
Yes.
And then Seth finally got on the mic. I remember saying like, just get you on here, and then
Yes.
it was awesome.
Boomer, I'd love to do a live stream. I'd love to do a private live stream for y'all about how I'm saving for my kids. I can show you the accounts, what I'm doing, what my thought process is. It isn't right. It's certainly based on what Paul is saying me. But in general, I have an 11-year-old with almost $6,000 saved, and he actively thinks about every dollar he gets, whether it's for a birthday or a communion, and he trades in gift card gifts for money to buy Alibaba. And my 8-year-old as well gets equally as jealous in this process. But my son at 11, and even at 10, Paul, he will jump off the bus and say, did you see what CCL did today?
He's going to probably be excited about Walgreens today.
Oh, God, Walgreens.
Yeah.
Yes, because he owns Walgreens. So, yes, Boomer, I would love to do a show about what I'm doing with my kids and sort of maybe share my journey and how they're both going to be gajillionaires already. So, yeah, Paul, what a fired up live stream we did today.
I was not a bully at school, Lydia. I was actually bullied at school. I was a nerd. Maybe that's probably why I'm such a fiery pissant right now. I got the Napoleon complex. Great question from AJ. What happens on the income statement with a stock split? Do the shares just double? So on our income statement, the shares just double from all of history. It doesn't affect the income statement. It's just that's where it happens to be the shares outstanding on our Everything Money software. I assume that's what you mean. Because from the income statement standpoint, in terms of revenue, profit, nothing changes. The per share amounts will all fall in half, and the number of shares will all double all throughout history. It'll double all the shares from the past too. Great question.
Savasya
What?
is asking, is investing in a long-term business where you're a financer, have you ever done that? Is that a good idea?
I mean, listen, that's what Warren Buffett does.
I guess you're right.
That's what we do when we buy stocks. We're investing it. We're financing it, but we're providing money for it, essentially. We're investing in it that way. I've done it before. I mean, business upstairs. We start businesses and put the money into it and have somebody else run it.
Philip is thanking us for the app. We do need more international companies. Philip, I assure you, we're getting there. I saw the check. Paul signs off $200,000 it pays for that data. Paul, talk about, people don't probably know this, the idea of like, what does it cost to run the software that these people have in their hands?
Last month, the channel cost me over $100K. With all payroll and everything, it was over $100,000.
And we're not talking about, folks, like if you're watching a guy who looks like he doesn't make any money at all, giving you investing advice in his spare bedroom, we're talking about a show that costs $100,000 a month to get cooking, get the software.
Oh no,
get
it goes
the
up
data.
every month.
Yeah,
Keep that
of
in mind.
course.
It goes up every month because the payroll is higher every single month. We have software developers. We have server costs. We have data feed. We have all these things going. Guess what, guys? It ain't going to stop. Somebody just asked us, would you come to the UK to do a show? Guys, when this channel is doing 7 figures a month in revenue, you better believe we're going to be flying all over the world, doing shows, interviewing people, bringing famous people in, going to see famous people. It's going to be incredible. This thing is just getting started. Because remember one thing, I care about the channel. I care about the people loving the channel. I care about it growing. I will make money along the way. I've made money along the way. I haven't got my investment back yet, but we're getting there, right? So
Lee, you're absolutely correct. For all of you watching, once we hit 100,000, we'll be doing the Tesla giveaway. Tim and I organized the list. A few thousand names, thousands of names go in the list. We randomize it and pick somebody. And so, yes, we will be giving away the Tesla. Maybe you'll get it in the next 5 years. Where can I invest in the show? Just keep doing what you're doing, guys. You're doing great.
So, nope. We have turned a profit. We've had a profit in the last 6 months, every single month. It's been growing, but I have not gotten my investment back. My investment has been about $250,000 to $300,000 in this channel up until 5-6 months ago, but now it's chipping away. So I'll have my money back next year. I love this channel, though. I absolutely love it. The funny thing is, I think my dad's most proud of this business out of all the businesses we have. He's just like,
he's
you're
drawn
on
to it.
YouTube? I'm like, yeah,
He kind of likes me too. I got in good with
he
him.
likes you a lot because you have a PhD.
Yeah,
See,
that's
my
right,
dad's an
chemistry.
education snob. He thinks you're like the most brilliant man in the world because he has a PhD. I'm like, I know, Dad.
I'm leading you.
I'm like, I'm leading you. It works for
In
me,
your
Dad.
father's eyes. Isn't that nice?
That's exactly what it is. He's a
Isn't
PhD.
that
So I'm like,
nice?
Dad, this foreign doctor thinks that Seth has a PhD. I'm like, Dad, he has tattoos too.
Yeah, that's it. Any ideas for 200,000 giveaway? Wow, Paul. Jesus, it never crossed our mind. One of your watches. Come on.
No.
The red one you don't like. The red
Oh, yeah.
Rolex.
You mean one of those watches?
Yeah, the one you don't like.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah. Mark it down, folks.
I'll do a watch.
Watch giveaway. Win
I'll
Paul's
sell tickets
Rolex.
for it, though. I'll sell tickets for it.
Not for the 200,000. We got to give it away.
No, listen, maybe I'll do that. I don't know. We'll figure it out. 200,000, yeah.
Because that could happen. I never looked at the numbers. It's
Well, we can look it up right now. You guys can
next
go to
summer.
you guys can follow us on social.
show
Blade.
them that, Paul. Actually, this is quite a plus in on your computer so they can see. It's kind
I
of
will.
small.
I will. But pump the brakes there.
Guys,
Ted.
this is really cool, actually. This is called Social Blade, if you've ever seen it. And it projects out subscriber base.
Oh, we just
and
passed
miles.
1,000 uploads.
Oh, 1,000?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Quinn said that last night. You didn't see it?
I don't pay attention to that chat anymore, especially not Quinn things. Okay, future projections, subscriber milestone.
Here we are, guys.
So it has us hitting 100,000 on November 19th, 200,000 on May 20th, and 1 million in January of 2024. 500,000 in March of 23. And by the way, we've beaten all of these dates when they're far out. Like, I don't know if we're going to beat this date. It all depends on what happens in the next 35 days.
Yeah, and here's the funny part, guys. We've been told that we were clout chasing other YouTube channels. I want you to be proud, because when we pass Tom Nash and when we pass Jeremy from Financial Education and we're giving middle fingers as we go in the left lane, go right around him in our Teslas, you can be proud because we smoke them on a daily basis. We're working harder. More people love us. We get more clicks, more subscribers, and Paul did 15 5-minute videos for you guys that we're going to start rolling out. It's happening. And so just be proud that you're on the train right now. And Paul, by the way, for internet, and again, unfortunately, with the rules that are stipulated in our Tesla video, there are certain rules about international folks winning. When we get bigger, we will certainly be giving away international stuff, but there's certain states you can't roll. And by the way, if you want to win a Tesla, you better put in your address and your phone number in your account, because we have to make sure that we can find you, which is very difficult. So very few people are going to hear this, Paul, but make sure you're putting in your address, your phone number, so we can find you when you win. Because if you don't put that in there and you just put some silly name in Discord, we have no clue who the hell you actually are.
Carlos, you're automatically signed up for the Tesla
Yes,
giveaway
you're
by
in.
being
Yep.
a member of the software. You get 1 entry for every month you're a member of the software. You're automatically entered, Carlos. Don't worry about it. You don't need to sign up anywhere.
Yep,
Just-
you're in.
You're in.
Daniel,
Don't worry.
Stock Mo has a cat. You guys need a mascot. Our mascot is Poncho, the monkey in Paul's Mexican home. And when he dies, Paul, we're somehow going to get that monkey stuffed for the studio. That's going to happen. Now, we can't transfer a dead monkey across lines, but...
AJ is a good question.
What about
and then we'll be
PJ?
done.
Not on a
What
commercial
about what about PJ? Yeah, Paul, you'll bring the dead monkey home on a private jet.
Oh my god.
AJ, he has a good question.
Go
Do you
on.
can you describe the difference if you have one of strategies between your taxable versus your non-taxable accounts? Great question.
Thank you, AJ. He wrote that 75 times, and I didn't quite understand. I didn't want to get into the
Oh.
taxes, but I appreciate you, AJ. You're wonderful.
Great
Go
thing
ahead.
about the little book that beats the market is it's especially good in a non-taxable account because you have to change the stocks every year. So if you read the book, I also do options, and I'm also doing momentum trading. Momentum trading involves shorting, so I can't do those in my tax-free accounts, but I stick to like the little book kind of stuff for my tax-free accounts so they can grow and not pay taxes along the way. But everything else I treat as value, and then I have separate accounts for my momentum and all that stuff. So that's a great question.
They're saying you should transport the monkey when he's still alive but dying, Paul. So we'll keep that on the book. Let's throw him in a suitcase on the way home.
Guys, great show.
Thanks for watching. Fondle that thumbs
They
up.
already made a meme.
For what?
In the general stocks.
Is that what it was?
Oh Lord.
Of me flicking everybody off?
Oh,
There's
boy.
already a meme.
Okay,
Invest
well.
these.
Hey, let me check it out.
Stocks chat.
If you're just joining, rewind and watch Paul's take about 15 minutes in, and if someone ever accuses us of not being honest, you will get an honest
Where is
double
that?
middle fingers to your face about
Oh, that's great.
daily.
Investee's nuts. That's great.
I love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you next stream.
See you guys.
You guys are awesome. Appreciate it.
Bye.